It isn't often that I make a video, but there's an occasion for everything. I just wanted to take a few minutes to sort of reflect on the 30th anniversary of Soap Central. I never envisioned that a website that I created to celebrate my love of all things All My Children would become the longest running soap opera website in history. As a point of reference, Soap Central is older than Google and even older than Amazon, back when it only sold books, if you can remember that. Unlike those companies, though, I'm sure you've heard of them, Soap Central has always been owned and operated just by me for all of those 30 years. You know, in creating Soap Central, I sort of unwittingly created a whole new life path for myself. A lot of you probably know, and for those of you who didn't, you're going to learn some fun nuggets here. I always planned to be a doctor. From the time I was in kindergarten all the way through college, the plan was for always to become a doctor. But, as is the case with many of us, life. I've gotten to travel to places and do things and meet people that I probably never would have in that alternate reality where I became a doctor. I've loved every minute of it. Okay, so let's be honest. There have been some moments, but other than that, I have enjoyed everything about it. I don't really like to get overly sharey on social media, which seems sort of counterintuitive. I guess I'm more anti-social media than most on social media, but I think in this situation, I probably need to be more sharey than I would be in a normal situation. The last 5 years for me have been particularly challenging. My best friend suddenly and unexpectedly passed away. And just as I was dealing with that, and then we were in the throes of the COVID pandemic. And finally, when things started to go back to normal, I lost my Nana. It was through all of these things that it became the first time that I became aware that time is not limitless. So the idea of working 7 days a week, sometimes 16 or more hours per day, it just wasn't as fun for me as when I was in my 20s or even in my 30s. There are other things that I'd like to be doing with my time and people that I'd like to be spending my time with. You may even remember that last year, for the very first time in my life, I took a non-working vacation. It was a lot of fun. I'd like to do that again. Unfortunately, though, a lot of my time recently has been chasing after websites that are stealing the content that's posted on Soap Central, or calling advertisers to find out why they haven't paid their bills, and even doing things like having to figure out why every so often on a whim Google changes their algorithm and it impacts how the content on Soap Central is listed when you do a web search. Lots of really unsexy things. All of these are things that are not part of the fun things that I like doing on Soap Central. Things like, of course, doing the interviews, doing red carpets, writing commentaries, and even something as simple as sitting down to watch an episode of a soap opera without any interruption. Some of you might be able to relate to that more than you want to admit. But it's all of these things and some other things that help me realize that it's time for me to sell Soap Central. It's really weird to say that. It was even harder for me, if I'm being honest, to get myself to the point where I was able to admit that I can no longer do it all by myself. I can't think of another website out there that isn't in some way, shape, or form owned or operated by a sprawling media company. It's no longer fair to myself. It's not fair to the amazing and talented people who are creating content for Soap Central. And it certainly is not what I have wanted for all of you that visit the Soap Central website. So by the time that you're reading this, or seeing this message, if you're actually watching the video, Hopefully you are. I will have started my next chapter. I have no idea what that involves. The good thing, though, I guess, is that I have time to figure it out because I am not leaving Soap Central. I'll still be here doing all of the things that I love and working with all of the writers that I consider to be part of my chosen family. I'll also be here hanging out on social media, sharing pictures from my garden, or let's be honest, all you really care about is pictures of the bunny. I'll be doing that, so you're not really getting rid of me. But all of this is designed because I need more time for self. I hope that you understand this. I hope that you will support this decision. I know that the new owners of Soap Central understand what my vision of the site is, and they have all of the tools and resources to make that a reality. There should not be any noticeable changes. If anything, there'll be an improvement with things like the way that the website loads for you on your desktop or on your mobile device. It should be easier for you to find the things that you're looking for. There'll be more content as we're able to bring in more people, perhaps to cover soap operas from around the world, as well as some other things. So that isn't changing. Their commitment to Soap Central is to grow it and make it even better than it is without really changing the vision that I've had for the website. It's part of the other reason that I felt comfortable that it was time to allow the baby that I created 30 years ago to sort of go off and have its own adventures. Yeah, still weird to say that. I want to say that I have really valued and appreciated your support over these last 30 years. I hope that you'll continue to support me. I hope that you'll be supporting Soap Central as it moves forward, hopefully for another 30 years. And that you are a part of that future on the website. If you have any questions for me, or if you want to reach out to me, I am always here. You know how to find me. I'm at Dan J. Kroll, literally everywhere. If there's a thing, it's Dan J. Kroll. So I think that's it. I probably have overstayed my welcome in this video. You may not even have listened to the whole thing. Hopefully you'll have read the accompanying text if you didn't watch the full video. But yeah, it was time. Even though it was difficult. That's it. Before I get emotional, I'm going to say again, thank you, and you'll see me around.